Hi, I'm Dan of AppStoreSchool.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how I have used JavaScript JSX in Photoshop to automate the creation of sticker packs for the iPhone, iOS, iMessage ecosystem in the Apple App Store. So JavaScript JSX is a flavor of JavaScript. The JSX stands for JavaScript Syntax Extension, and that is a flavor of JavaScript that can be used in Photoshop to do things like take a bunch of images and process them and do basically some automation that'll save us time in our creation of our sticker pack apps. So, and just some background on what a sticker pack app is. It's basically an app within the iMessage portion of an iPhone or an iPad, and so when you send a text message to somebody, at the bottom of the screen where you can see the keyboard there, there is a launch bar for adding photos or images, and some of these the little apps like the red magnifying glass come by default. But there's also an app ecosystem, and there's an app store built in to that area where you can actually download sticker packs developed by developers. And so that ecosystem is open to developers like you and me to create sticker packs, have them for sale. They can be free, or you can charge any amount you want for them. And with that, those stickers can then be added to messages. And I got my start in sticker packs. Well, the beauty about sticker packs, let me say this, is that you don't need to write any code. So we're not going to look at any code today. In fact, even the JavaScript extension, the JSX automation that I'm going to show you today is free and available on my GitHub homepage. I'll show you how to clone that and run it without even looking at the source code. I got my start in sticker packs at the start of COVID. I have a daughter who's in elementary school. And when COVID started, my daughter's school said we're going to do a 3-week spring break. This was back in March of 2020. Back when we thought it was all going to be over by April of 2020. That didn't happen. But at the time, we did not know that. What I did know was that I'm going to have to find something to entertain and occupy my daughter's time those 3 weeks. And I thought, hey, you know what? I was around her age when I was exposed to my first computer program and got into computer programming. And I just loved it straight off the bat. So I said to my daughter, hey, let's create an app, for the iPhone. I'll show you a little bit of programming. So we sat down for about an hour and I showed her some coding. And as much as I loved coding, when I first saw my program, my daughter was the exact opposite. She knew without a doubt that coding was not the thing for her, and to forget about it. And so that was that. But then around the same time, I stumbled across the development of sticker packs, and namely, and particularly how they can be created just by creating images and dragging them and dropping them into your Xcode. And I went back to my daughter and said, hey, how about if I show you how to create a sticker pack? All you need to do is some creative artwork, and you don't have to do any coding, and we can, you can make some passive income. And so my daughter was really enthused about that, and off we went and launched our first sticker pack. And in the last year, we've done at least half a dozen. We've done more than half a dozen sticker packs and make a little bit of money. And every time some money comes in, I explained to my daughter, look, that's passive income. That is what passive income is all about. You do that work up front one time, and then from there on out, you don't have to do any work, and that money is money in the bank. So for me, it was a really great opportunity to teach my daughter some technology and get her interested in how to combine art and technology, but it was also a good lesson in passive income. So if you're in any way interested for yourself or for a family member, I really encourage you to pursue this. Even if, and especially if you don't have any coding experience, because you don't need any coding experience at all to do this. But I digress. Let's get back to our sticker pack. So here's the thing. What we found is that what we like to do is we like to create a bunch of images, and we get some open source images that we're allowed to use in our sticker packs. And what we like to do is, after we do a little artwork on them, we like to overlay them with things like I love dogs. In this case, this is our I love dogs sticker pack, and the breed of the dog, and a little pop out message or a sticker that says have one, and that's tedious work going through each of these images and adding that overlay. So what we found is we could create a layer in Photoshop and run some JavaScript to have JavaScript then automatically add those layers to each of our images. And so we did that, and I want to step back and talk about the whole app making process, whether it's an app that's coded, or whether it's an app like a sticker pack where there is no coding done, but you're creating an app nonetheless. I broke the whole process down into a 7 milestone roadmap. And what we're talking about here today in this video is milestone 2, that whole creation process. And we're just going to even cover a portion of that creation process. But there are more steps to that, and I do have videos for each one of these steps. And so if you head over to appstoreschool.com, you can get started for free by downloading this PDF, and there's an accompanying video that talks about each of these 7 milestone roadmaps. And so, for example, in milestone 2, we talk about using Xcode, to build what we want. And even if you're not a coder, and even if you've never developed anything before, you too can become an App Store developer using Xcode, creating apps like this sticker pack. I'm going to show you how. Okay, so back to our sticker pack. So as you can see here, we have all these images of the dog, and of each dog breed. And in this case here, we have each one 4 times: the Isle of Dogs, the name of the dog, the image by itself, and then the overlay of have one, want one. And so, like I said, we ran JavaScript to do that, and that code is available for free for you to use on GitHub, on my GitHub page. So if you go to github.com/danking and look for the iMessage sticker pack, and let me just bring that up, that browser there. So if you hear, come here, Dan, search for Dan-King on GitHub, and then look for iMessage sticker pack. Here is the link there to code. If this is new to you, Google it, and you can also see some other videos I have. But let's say you know how to clone a project. I'm going to go through an example there. Basically, what we're going to be looking at is this one called copylayers.jsx. So this is the JavaScript file that we're going to open up in Photoshop that's going to look for an input folder of images, and it's going to look for a template layer with those layers on it. And we'll run through an example here in a minute. And it's basically going to apply all those layers to every images it finds, and then creates an output folder. And there you have all that work done for you without you having to do it. Okay, so and yeah, like I said, all we're going to do to run it, we don't have to make any changes to the code. We just click on it, right click on it, and say open Photoshop. It runs for a little while, and then you get a message saying it's done, and then you're good to go. And okay, so let's go ahead and do a demo. So first step is to get the source code from this website, from the GitHub website, this repository as we call them, onto your local computer. I'm on a Mac here. You do need a Mac for developing in Xcode. If you're on Windows, presumably you could still actually run Photoshop. If you have Photoshop in Windows, you could at least go that far. What I'm going to show you here today is on a Mac, but the cloning process and running this applies to any operating system, Mac or Windows or even Linux. So first step, we're gonna clone the repository. Then we're gonna create an input folder and those layers, and then we're going to run our two Photoshop things here. Okay. And my video has stopped. That's fine. Let's see if we can get that to go again. In fact, you know what? We don't need the video. I'm going to close that. So without further ado here, we have, let's see, we're going to clone the repository. That's the step we're on. Okay, so here on my command line, this is the path to the repository, github.com danking iMessage sticker pack Photoshop JSX.git. And so we add git clone in front of that and hit return. And that goes out to the web and then pulls down the code. And that's all we need to do from the command line. So over here in our browser, in Finder, it created a folder called iMessage sticker pack Photoshop. And it comes with the JSX files, the JavaScript files that we don't need to enter. We're not even going to go into them. We just run them as is. And then we have this template input folder. Okay, so the first thing we do, back to our steps here, is we duplicate the template input folder because the JavaScript program is expecting a folder called input. And so I provide you the template, and you just duplicate it to create the input. And the reason I do it this way is if you make a mistake, you can delete your input, and then you can create it again from the template. Okay, so we've done that step. Copy your images to the input images folder. Okay, so in input images, we've got a couple images here of San Diego. So let's go ahead and delete those. And over here in another folder, I have some images of cats. So this is for our next app called I Love Cats. So we've got all these cute images of cats here. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag and drop these to the images folder. And then last step before we run the script, we want to update the layers Photoshop file in the layers folder. So here is a layers folder here. And we're going to open this with Photoshop. And so at the moment, let me zoom in here. This layers file has 3 images. It's got a label that says text. Let me turn them off one by one. So first of all, it's got a label with text in it, and the script knows that if it encounters this, it replaces the word text with the file name. So notice how I've named all my files to match the name of the here. I didn't want to move it, I wanted to copy, so let me copy those back. Okay, so each of these images that I copied has the name of the cat, the breed of the cat. And so when the Photoshop runs, it'll replace this text with the name of that animal, of that breed. Okay, then I have another layer called I Love San Diego. We're going to change that to I Love Cats. And then this I was here, that's not really applicable to cats. So let's go ahead and just for this demo remove that layer so that we have the label only and then the I Love San Diego. And in here what we want to do is get rid of the word Diego and then come into the word San, highlight it, and we'll write cats instead. And then just come here and drag that to the left a little bit. There we are. Okay, so these are the 2 layers that our script is going to run. Okay, and then we're going to save that and we close it. Okay, and so now just look again. We have our layers file that we just edited with text on I Love Cats, and we have our images with nothing on it, and there's no output folder yet. Take note of that. Okay, and then now we're at the stage where we're going to run the script called copylayers.jsx. So let's come over here to Finder. Here's copylayers.jsx. Again, we're not going to make any changes. We downloaded this from the repository, and we want to open this with Adobe Photoshop. Okay, so here's a Photoshop. Right in the middle of the screen, you can see that it's the icon, the cursor icon spinning. So it's working. As that works, we'll notice over here that there's now an output folder that was not there a minute ago. And Photoshop. Oh, it's done. Yay, thank you. And that's all the interface that we need from Adobe Photoshop. And look, we have 4 output folders. The PNG folder is empty. And we have these 3 PSD layer folders here. And one's called layer 1. The one folder is called PSD layer 1. And look, we have, instead of the word text, we have the breed of the cat, which was based on the file name. So look, that text matches the file name on here. Okay, and so that work has been done for us. There is another manual step in that because some of the names are long, some of them are short, that yellow banner, which is the same size in all of them, needs to be modified. And so typically we will go into each of these Photoshop files and adjust that a little bit before we run the final step. For this demo here, I'm not going to go into that because that would take a while, but you get the idea. And then likewise in the layer 2, we have our overlay of I Love Cats. And similarly to the text, in some of these cases, they're not centered correctly, like on the tuxedo cat. It's right on top of the cat. And there are ways to programmatically adjust that, but because, in addition to, programming skills, we're using our artistic skills. So we like to go in there, use our artistic skills, and move that I Love Cats somewhere on that screen that makes it appealing to the eye. And so, again, I'm not going to do that in this, but when you see this final app in the App Store, after we publish it, they will be moved accordingly. And then lastly, the last folder is basically the cat image with nothing in it. Now, just the plain image, and this is again a PSD file, a Photoshop file. Now, Xcode doesn't accept Photoshop files for sticker packs. It requires a PNG file, and that's what this PNG folder is for. So the next and final step of our process is to come here and run this copy to Png JSX. And again, no coding required here. We're just going to run it out of the box without any changes. It's going to go in. It's going to look for any folder in the output folder, and then take every single PSD file and create a PNG out of it. So look, right now the PNG folder is empty. Let's come here to copy to PNG. I'm going to right click, open with, we want to open with Adobe Photoshop. Say open. And so it's going through each of those PSD files, opening them, creating a PNG. And this is work that is automated that we do not have to do. So let's take a look at our output folder now. PNG, woohoo, there we are. So just like that, that automation saved us that very tedious and laborious task of going into each one of those files and creating a PNG. And again, some of these are off-centered, which is why typically before we run that last step, we would go into each of those Photoshop files and adjust a little bit. But that whole process of exporting them into this one directory makes it super easy for us to now go into Xcode and create our sticker pack app. That's that. And again, this has been milestone 2 of the process of creating an app for the App Store. It's the whole creation process. Again, you can download this for free from appstoreschool.com. I have other videos talking about actually what to do next now that you have those videos, how to actually create a sticker pack app. And it is less work. You know, once you have these images, once you have these, you know, anywhere from 20 to 80 images is typically how many I have in my sticker packs. You just drag and drop, really in less than an hour, you can go from no app to an app in the App Store. The whole process of testing, preparing screenshots, these next steps go very fast, and before you know it, you're going to have an app in the App Store. So I want to say thank you for watching. If you're in any way interested in learning about more, go to appstoreschool.com and watch that short video that accompanies the free download, and give something a try. So as I said, my daughter and I, we have I Love Dogs sticker pack. We started with I Love San Diego. We did I Love San Francisco, I Love Los Angeles. We did a Black Lives Matter sticker pack. We did an I Love Georgia sticker pack. Some of these are free. Some of them we charge $1 for. All the revenue is passive income. And again, that's the beauty of sticker pack apps. Just like any app in the App Store, if you charge for them and you make money from them, you haven't done anything apart from the initial work, and that's passive income. And that's a great lesson that I'm glad I was able to teach my daughter. And the bonus is people are leaving some really nice ratings and reviews. You can see we've got 5-star reviews, and we've got some really kind comments from people, and that just tickles us to no end to see that we're making people happy with our stickers. That, you know, they can then add these stickers into their communication to enhance, you know, their messages. So we're grateful for that. Again, Dan, appstoreschool.com. Thanks for watching. Please check out the free roadmap at appstoreschool.com and my other videos here on my YouTube channel, appstoreschool.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the App Store.